Is the county ready?
Yes, for the building division.
Okay. Good afternoon. The time is 2 o'clock. My name is Christian Waugh, and I hereby call this Citrus County Building Division Compliance Hearing to order for Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. For these hearings, we follow an agenda. The first item on the agenda is, surprise, the call to order. We just did that. The second item on the agenda is the pledge to the flag, so I'd like to ask you to join me as you are able for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all.
If any person decides to appeal any decision made by the Building Division Compliance Special Master with respect to any matter considered at this public hearing, he or she will need to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made, which record shall include the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is dealing with the minutes from the Friday, April 24th, 2026 hearing. Are there any proposed modifications to the minutes? I have a copy here. All right, I don't see any. I'm not going to make any, so I'll go ahead and approve the minutes. Is there a staff update?
No, sir.
All right. With no staff update, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about this hearing. Again, my name is Christian Waugh. I'm a licensed Florida attorney acting as what is called a special master. That's a fancy title created by the law, and what it means is that Citrus County has hired me to preside over this hearing. What I'm going to tell you during this opening statement applies to all of your hearings, so I'd appreciate it if you paid attention. When your case is called, please come forward. You'll be placed under oath. If you are appearing at a hearing like this for the first time, the county will call its case, and I will allow the county to present its case. You will have an opportunity to cross-examine any of the county's witnesses, and you will have an opportunity to present your case regarding the violation. That will be your opportunity to present evidence and to make legal argument. It is important that you take your time during this process because it is likely going to be your only chance to make your case to me. I will ask whether or not you are contesting the violation. If you do not contest that a violation exists, I'll assume that a factual basis for the violation exists and just ask you how much time you need to fix the violation or to work with the county. This will help save time for yourself and others, but you are by no means required to do this. If you do oppose the case or simply want to be heard, you have that right. At any time during the hearing, I may have questions of parties, witnesses, or staff. Before issuing a ruling, I will ask if there are any members of the public who wish to speak. If there are, such members of the public will have one opportunity to speak per case. Such right to speak is not unlimited, and public comment should be focused on the case and made as simply as possible. Other persons may be upset or even passionate about what they have to say. All witness testimony must remain civil, and you should not interrupt other witnesses or attorneys. This opening statement has been sanitized by somebody. I don't know who, but in most instances, if you are found guilty of a violation, the law requires that you be given a time to comply before a fine begins. You must abate the violation by that day, that is, fix the violation, or the fine will accrue for each day that you remain in violation. The law allows Citrus County to impose and accrue the fine, and the fine would accrue as a lien on your property. The county has a right to foreclose on that lien or to seek a money judgment against you after the lien has been recorded for 3 months. I encourage anyone here who has questions about their rights or remedies to seek their own legal counsel. In all cases in which I find that a violation has occurred, I will impose all costs required by county law. I incorporate this in all my orders as standard provisions. So for example, the cost that the county has in the investigation is something I'm required to put as part of my order. If you bring the property into compliance quickly or within the time I allow, then the cost will remain minimal. If you do not timely fix this violation, then you will be responsible for additional costs as well as the cost of the lien imposed. You do have the right to appeal any order I make today as may be provided by law. Thank you for your attention.
First case, Your Honor, Ashton Madre, case number 202501 801. Case officer on the case is Licensed Compliance Officer Deborah D. Maria. The expert is Mr. Samuel Acosta.
While the parties are approaching, I've been notified the parties have discussed a no contest in this matter with 20 days to cure and $150 a day fine thereafter if not brought into compliance.
Okay, can we swear everyone in?
Would raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you would state your names for the record, please.
Ashton Madre.
Deborah Di Maria.
Sam Acosta.
Very good. Mr. Madre, did you hear the terms that were announced by the county attorney?
Yes,
That you be given 20 days to bring the property to compliance. If it's brought into compliance within that time, no fine. If it's not brought into compliance within the 20 days, there would be a $150 a day fine until it is brought into compliance. Does that make sense?
yes.
Okay, can the county tell me a little bit about what happened?
Yes, sir. 8/28/25, he hired a mobile home company to to pull a permit and place a mobile home on his property. They did submit it, but then they dropped the mobile home before issuance. That temporary status expired and it's still sitting there. They did, however, recently put in for another permit to get it rectified.
Okay, so the county's just keeping their feet to the fire, so to speak.
Yes, sir, because it's been too long and they really should have known better, the mobile home company. Should never have started.
Okay, well, I have no opposition to the terms of the resolution. It seems reasonable. I don't think it's going to set you up for failure. It seems like a simple fix. Okay? All right, then I will issue an order finding that there's a violation, granting you 20 days to bring the property in compliance, and to the extent it isn't within that time, it would be a $150 a day fine. Okay?
Thank you.
Good luck, Mr. Madre.
Thank you, sir. You ready?
Actually, I'm sorry. Is there anyone for the public who wants to be heard on that case? All right, now you're free. Thanks.
Next case, Richard Irwin Jr., case number 2026-00383. Case officer Deborah D. Maria. Expert is Mr. Samuel Acosta. It's on page 14 of your agenda, sir.
And Your Honor, as the parties are approaching, I've been notified this is also a no contest. The parties have discussed 30 days to cure and $150 a day thereafter.
If you would raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And if you would state your name for the record, please.
Richard Irwin Jr.
Good afternoon, Mr. Irwin.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the terms that were announced by the county attorney?
Yes,
And have you agreed to those?
yes.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Yes, sir. So where Mr. Irwin lives, he's in an HOA that pays for the roof, and they pay from the exterior to the studs, any damage or any work that needs to be done. They did, in the past, pull a permit for a roof, put the roof on. It was either the boot or the flashing was not properly installed, so it caused a leak into the bathroom. This went on for a very long time, caused mold and the tiles to fall off the shower. So the interior work to replace that did not need a permit. However, it's a wood frame home. They went outside and cut a hole in the wall. That requires a permit. He has since hired a contractor. He has submitted the permit, but it is not issued.
He's
is in a-
applied for the permit.
Yes, sir. He is in a flood zone, so there are certain requirements as well.
Well, so my only question is 30 days setting him up for failure, is that enough time for the paperwork to be squared away so that the permit can be issued?
He's confident with his contractor, but I think that would be a question for Mr. Irwin.
My turn?
Yeah, tell
All
me.
right, so what happened is I initiated the complaint of noncompliance. When I saw the work that was done.
You turned yourself
I
in,
turned myself in.
and you're coming in from the cold on the complaint that you turned yourself in on? Wow, okay.
What?
First time for everything.
No, sir, it was a good reason because I felt like they misled me, the HOA misled me. I asked them, was a permit needed? They said no, it was considered a repair. After my investigation and actually talking to the contractor in person when they were conducting this work, I said, this is a renovation. He agreed, it is a renovation. So for 5 months, I've been dealing with the HOA trying to get them to rectify this, and they have dragged their feet. Even after I sent them the ordinance of their fault, they still did not do anything. So I've waited to this point, and I finally said, I'm at the point now where this is my responsibility. The HOA is telling me I'm not supposed to touch the building. I'll cross that bridge later. we're gonna get the right thing done. So upon opening the wall that we just did, I noticed that when the code enforcement officer comes out, I feel that the work that they did is insufficient. I believe they incorrectly addressed the problem. And I believe there's gonna be more work that's gonna be needed. And I believe that the code enforcement officer is probably gonna have to come back out after he assesses the damage that was done so that we fix that. So I believe that there's a good chance it's not gonna get done in 30 days, only because I believe that the county's gonna have to come back out and re-inspect the property. But I'm not saying that what is done is wrong. It was very wrong. They should have pulled a
All right,
permit.
well, no, my understanding is not that that's the case.
No,
Yeah.
sir, that has, first of all, it's not a renovation, it was a repair. It did not need a permit per our supervisor of inspectors. That said, the permit only needs to be issued
Yeah,
to
so-
abate this.
And I'll handle that. So
okay.
the issue here is just the issuance of the permit. And so this case will go away once that permit is issued. Whatever else happens is for outside this hearing. I have no reason to disagree with the terms based on what I've heard. So I'm going to ask, is there anyone from the public that wants to be heard on this case? So, Mr. Irwin, I think 30 days makes sense for the permit to be
Okay.
issued. It sounds like it's going to
I've
happen.
got the number here.
If it's not brought into, if the permit doesn't come in the 30 days, then there would be a fine of $150 a day,
Okay.
but that's the term of the resolution, and I agree with it. I think it
Thank
makes
you.
sense.
I got
Okay?
the- I got the number.
All right, well, good
Permit
luck.
number. All right,
Thank you.
Next case, Your Honors, Michael Dentisi, Wanda Ishman, case number 2026-00184. Licensed Compliance Officer Timothy Williams. Expert is Mr. Samuel Acosta. It's on page 9 of your agenda.
Your Honor, I've been notified the parties discussed this beforehand, that this is a no contest with 60 days to cure and $50 a day thereafter if not brought into compliance. And if they could be sworn.
If you would raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Perfect. If you would state your names for the record.
I am Wanda Dentisi.
Michael James Antisi.
Okay, good afternoon.
Hi.
Did you hear the terms that were announced by the county attorney?
Yes.
And are those the terms of the resolution that you've agreed to for this case?
Yes.
Sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Williams, can you tell me a little bit about the county's case?
Yes, sir. This is for an unpermitted swimming pool. They need the extra time to get through stormwater, which takes a little while, because they're close to a lake.
Okay. There was a complaint for this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, that makes sense to me. I mean, 60 days should be enough, I would think. All right, is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? All right, then I'll find a violation exists, grant 60 days. If it's not brought into compliance within 60 days, $50 a day fine. As low as they go.
Hope my engineer gets back from
Uh-huh.
New Mexico.
I know the feeling. All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
The next case, Todd and Pam Downs, case number 2025-02204. Licensed Compliance Officer Deborah DiMaria. Expert Mr. Samuel Acosta, on page 10 of your agenda.
And Your Honor, the parties have discussed this beforehand. This is going to be a no contest, 45 days to cure, and $150 a day thereafter.
If you would raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
If you would state your names for the record.
Todd Downs.
Pamela Downs?
Okay, good afternoon. Did you hear the terms that were announced by Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Okay, and are those the terms that you've agreed to resolve the case?
I think so.
I hope so, otherwise I'll take another case,
Yeah.
but did you agree to them or not?
I mean, I'm just now finding out about it, to be honest with you, on the terms.
Okay, so what's been announced is you'd have 45 days. I don't even know what the county's case is or what they're gonna ask you to do yet, but you'd have 45 days to bring the property into compliance, and if it's not brought into compliance, it'd be $150 a day.
Okay.
45 days is a lot of time in my world. I may not grant the 45 days if I hear the case. So like that's the idea behind the resolutions, but I'm not trying to push you into it. If you want to go through the hearing, we can do that. What would you like to do?
No, I'm good, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the case?
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Downs submitted a permit for a new garage door on a 24 by 25 shed, and it was brought to my attention from Flood because the shed itself was not permitted, only for me to be on site and notice that the pool, the deck, and the covered porch was not permitted either. So those things are currently being submitted right now. The documents are. 3 permits have been submitted, not issued. And he is working with a private permitting company to hopefully expedite it, maybe.
Oh, okay, good. So what exactly needs to be permitted? And of what needs to be permitted, what is there an application in for?
3 application, 1 for an above-ground pool, 24 by 25 shed, and permitting is allowing him to do 1 permit for 2 decks because they're connected. 1 deck is 12 by 12, the other is 32 by 15.
So all the applications are in?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just not issued.
Well, that seems reasonable. It seems like you're on top of it.
Yeah, we're trying to get it done.
Yeah. That seems like a very reasonable amount of time to get it done in if there's minor issues that need to be corrected in the paperwork or anything like that.
Yeah, that's the
So,
only thing I didn't know. I've never been through the process,
Yeah.
so I don't know how much time it takes, so.
thank you for your color coordination. I always appreciate
We
that.
work-
I can't miss you.
We work together in road construction.
Okay.
So we
all
gotta
right.
wear this color.
Okay, good. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? Ma'am? Yeah, sure.
I don't know if I need to sign in. For the record, my name's Brenda McKenzie. I'm with McKenzie Permitting and Consulting. I've been working with them diligently. We have submitted the applications. I'll need to get with Mr. Acosta. Sometimes on these, after the fact, it's a case-by-case scenario on whether or not they have to use a private provider. I've submitted it that way. and
Sounds
then-
like they're okay with it. I mean, you didn't present any objection to that. Do you have a problem with a private provider?
No, sometimes it's required if we can't
I was
actually
gonna
see the
say, you
work.
don't even, I thought you didn't even want to handle an after the fact. Am I wrong? I mean,
Sometimes if the work's all visible, like a deck, then we can get through it.
Okay.
You know, it just depends on, as long as things aren't covered up that we can no longer inspect, then I'll make the call that they have to get one. But above-ground pool and a deck typically would not require one.
would not require one,
Not
but
that I'm saying that that's the answer to this.
what are you saying? You won't allow it? I mean,
No, that
yeah.
it's possible that we could get through this without having the services of a private provider.
So I've submitted it as the option of a private provider, so I'll need to modify that. I'll get with Mr. Acosta and see if this is one that he feels they can do and see everything. And then with the detached shed / garage, I'll see if that one's also, I don't know, with the footer and steel sometimes. So it's case by case. We're submitted 45 days if we can resolve whether private providers are busy.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, I actually do need to swear you in based on the
okay.
nature of the testimony
Okay.
that's been given.
Okay.
I didn't know if it'd be necessary, but if you don't
Okay.
mind.
And nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes,
And you
state
s-
your name for the record.
Brenda McKenzie, McKenzie Permitting. My office is at 7232 East Gospel Island Road in Inverness.
And is everything you've told me so far true?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So I believe the 45 days, we just have to resolve whether it's private provider. Private providers are getting busier and busier. They're independent. We would be, at their mercy. I do have one that I deal with regularly, but we're diligently trying to get this resolved. Yeah.
Sir, I have one thing. So the private provider is generally determined through a process, no skipping. So the permits are
see.
in and it goes through a review.
I see.
And the reviewers decide on
Okay.
whether they're going to go
All
private
right, then that's good for
provider.
me to know. I still think 45 days is enough for this, given that the applications are in. I understand the permits haven't been issued yet. But all right, so
Okay,
is there
thank
anyone
you.
else? Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to be heard on this? All right, then I'm going to go ahead and issue an order. I'll find that there's a violation, but grant 45 days from the date of my order to bring the property into compliance. And if it's not, then there would be a $150 a day fine. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Next case, Suzanne Greif, case number 2025-02216, License Compliance Officer Timothy Williams. Expert on the case is Mr. Samuel Acosta. Page 11 of your agenda, sir.
Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you state your name for the record, please?
Susanna Rise. Okay. Your Honor, I have been notified that the parties have agreed to a no contest, 90 days to cure and $50 a day thereafter. And I believe her name might be different for other reasons. Just wanted to
Okay.
make sure it was the right name.
Okay. Okay, that works. All right, did you hear the terms that were announced by Ms. Harrison? Is that a yes?
Yes,
And do you agree to those terms?
I do.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Williams, what's going on?
It was a renovation additions to her home, and a outbuilding is a she shed or a shed.
A what?
She shed.
Is that a technical term?
Today it is, yes.
Okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this? All right, I have no reason to get in the way of that, and maybe the less said the better. So I'll find that there is a violation and grant you 90 days to bring the property into compliance. If it's not brought into compliance in that time, $50 a day. Thank you.
Thank you. And Your Honor, I've been notified of no other no contests.
Okay.
Next case, Your Honor, is Dwight Broussard, case number 2025-02105, Licensed Compliance Officer Deborah DeMaria. Two experts on this case. First one, Mr. Samuel Acosta, and our floodplain administrator, Mr. Dawson Redder. It's on page 6 of your agenda.
If you would raise your right hand for me.
Yes,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, if you would all state your names for the record.
Dawson Redder, Citrus County Floodplain Administrator. Sir? Can you state your name for the record,
Dwight
please?
Broussard.
Ma'am?
Anita Broussard.
All right, thank you very much. All right, please proceed.
Okay, so Mr. Broussard has purchased almost 5 acres, and he has put multiple unpermitted structures on it. He is in a flood zone. I'd like to present Exhibit A and B to you to show how bad of a flood zone he is in. There's also a legend here for you to see everything that is placed and what needs a permit. Currently, we have 12 permits are needed. There are 16 pending. They've been submitted. So 6 pending, 1 is complete, and 5 have not been submitted yet.
So I heard 12 permits, 16 pending?
6.
6 pending. Okay.
And one of the
What did you say? So I'm sorry. So after the 6 pending, you said something else?
1 was completed and passed, and then there's 5 that have not been submitted yet.
Got it.
There is a lot to do here. He does have to elevate the structures because of the flood zone. But additionally, he has run 400 amps of electric underground, unpermitted, that I feel
Isn't this still
is a
America?
detriment. Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, so 400 amps underground. What else?
Well, he's named them, and it's wonderful that he's named them because there's no way we could actually know what was what when he came in to permit. So he has a room addition on the house, a pole barn for a carport. There are 4 sheds. We call them Pooh, Sean, Nick, and Jake. One is a she shed. One is
What?
she shed for hobbies, I guess.
What is going on here?
There's a
Okay.
pool, elevated screen room, a deck, a pistol range, another pole barn. The existing barn that he currently has is 50 by 30. That was originally permitted. We made it very clear in our building division that it is not to have electric and it is to remain open on the sides. He signed the documents understanding that, and he gave us a site plan showing that. But then he is under the impression that the company that sold him the barn apparently told him that he could close it in and add electric. So we are requesting that there's a permit for the electric, and the building needs to be elevated with the other ones. And any elevation questions, I would like to refer to Dawson.
Okay. Sir, what would you like to tell me about, what are your concerns on this case?
It's the use of the sheds. So if you have unelevated structures in any kind of regulated flood zone, in this case, it's an AE flood zone, if it's not restricted to storage, parking, and access, and they're using it for living purposes, then those sheds have to be elevated. There's multiple different code citations in our local county ordinance as well as the Florida Building Code that address those storage, parking, access. The federal government calls it SPA. Realistically, it's just engineered foundations, elevate them up in the air. For the types of structures, we'd usually consider an elevation letter from a surveyor saying, yes, it's this high, this is where it needs to be. Realistically, it should be pretty straightforward on the engineering side and should be easy to rectify for the most part.
Easy to rectify, meaning in terms of cost and time?
I won't speak on cost, but as far as time, especially with sheds, if you're talking about single-family residences, those are definitely more difficult, especially if you're talking slab-on grades. I've reviewed numerous ones based off the 2024 hurricane season. For structures like this, they actually do it with mobile homes too, as far as they install them too low, and of course they have to go up. So, clerically speaking, it's documentation, inspection-wise, construction-wise, it's making sure that they're elevated where they need to be.
Now, of course, I'm going to want to hear from the Broussards, but at the end of this, what is the county going to be asking for exactly?
Permits for.
If you wouldn't mind going to the microphone.
We are asking that all of those structures be permitted.
The 12?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one cleared.
There's 11
okay.
now, yes, sir.
And if they aren't within the time that I allow, what is the county requesting?
I'm requesting $150 per day and 60 days to rectify. My reason behind that is the argumentative state. Initially, starting out, it was very difficult to get him to move forward and
When did your
comply.
case start?
He received his notice of violation December 15th.
Okay. Okay. Well, if there's not anything else that, okay, Ms. Harrison.
If I may clarify two things. That was December 15th of 2025.
Yes, ma'am.
And can you please present the evidence to opposing parties in the court so that they can go into evidence? Thank you.
So what I'm going to ask you to do is to look at the evidence that the county wants to introduce and let me know if you have any objections to them being evidence in this hearing. You'll be able to comment about it even if it isn't evidence. I just want to know if you have it, like, are the photos not authentic? Are they fraudulent? Are they unconstitutional? You know, that kind of thing.
Nope. I mean, I've got some of the same ones. I've got some newer photos.
Okay. And you'll have an opportunity to present those as well. All right, then, without objection, I'll admit them into evidence. These are exhibits A and B?
Yes, sir.
And just so
Yes,
I
sir.
know, is there anyone from the public who's going to want to be heard on this case? Okay. Sir, I'd love to hear from you. What's going on the property?
So the barn and the poo shed were both permitted when we put them up. They were both signed off with final inspections the way they are now, which was electricity to both of them. The poo shed is low to the ground. The barn doesn't have flood vents, but it's got 21 feet of door space. It's got a 12-foot door on one end. It's got 3 foot on one side, one on the other, and the two wings are both open. They have a mesh cloth that goes to the ground to keep leaves out and stuff that lets water through if it needs to. In the floods of the hurricanes of 24, it never got close to the barn. The concrete guy told me he raised it a foot when they poured it. So it's a little above the backyard that has a tendency to fill up with water. And like I said, the poo shed It's, the way it is now is the way it was inspected. I have the signed off inspection sheets, included electricity.
Okay. So the county, no, the county basically presented a case where they said there were, at least when the case started, 12 issues where permits were needed. And they're saying one was completed and finaled out, no big deal, since the case started, I think.
That's the pole barn that I
That was the
put,
pole barn?
which got this all started.
Okay. All right, so then there's the county's case is that there's 11 more, and that you've actually applied for several of these. And are you handling this yourself, or have you hired help?
Right now, they're telling me I need engineered drawings of the sheds, the 3 sheds, and the pool because of the elevation and stuff. I did get a survey for the elevation. The 3 sheds, Pooh, Nick, and Jake, were 9.8 feet for Sean and Nick, and 9.9 for the first 2, 9.8 for the third one. I elevated on my own to the 10-foot mark by adding 4x4s and a 1x6 and a 4x4 on all the posts. They're telling me I can't do that.
Are you a licensed contractor?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just a self-contractor.
Yeah. See, and I'm asking these questions to have a full understanding. I mean, did you hear anything? What did you hear from the county in its presentation that you disagreed with?
I didn't disagree.
No, I know, that's helpful. I just want to know how much we have overlap on and how much we don't. So what did you hear that you disagreed with?
Basically, they told me I had to get the sheds elevated, so I did it. They, why do I need a contractor for something I can do on my own? I've got a company working on the drawings with the electricity and the plumbing and everything in the 3 sheds. They're being submitted now for Florida approval. Hopefully they'll be in the net today or tomorrow, or next couple of days. Then I can submit that. That's part of why I don't have anything, all of the things submitted, because they wanted these engineered drawings. And I finally found somebody about 4 or 5 weeks ago that would do it for a reasonable price.
The thing is, whether we like it or not, the law does say that whether you can do it or not, sometimes you do need to have someone else do it with a license or with proper inspections and that kind of thing. So, I mean, without getting into the details of it, the law is the law. So my job is to call balls and strikes and give you a time to comply before some kind of fine starts. Now, there was also testimony from the county about argumentativeness. Did you oppose the county's efforts in the beginning? Did you resist? I mean, what's going on?
2 of the sheds that they're talking about were there when I bought, 3 actually, were there when I actually bought the property. Somebody came by within a few days after we bought it, said, you got this, 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 and this. Then now they want plans, engineered plans for a wooden shed, the pistol range, which is now a wood shed, and another shed, a pole barn that was behind the house that I moved out away from the house, that when I got it, it was closed in on 2 sides, had electricity. Right now, it doesn't have electricity. The range does not have electricity that it had when I moved in. There was a box truck on the property when I moved there that I have to get rid of because it's not allowed anymore.
I mean, that's true too. To the extent that something is unpermitted, I assume that Mr. Broussard has the option to just get rid of it instead of to.
He does.
Yeah. And I've had to explain this in a lot of my hearings. The fact that something's there when you buy it doesn't necessarily mean that it's okay or it's gone through the right steps. You might have a cause of action against the seller for some kind of misrepresentation that everything was done the right way. The county has suggested that I should give you 60 days to complete this process, after which a fine would begin. Is 60 days enough?
So for the elevations, what do I need to do? They're done. So I just need to get another survey?
The elevations are, when you say the elevate, you mean the raising?
Mhm.
Well, let's turn to the county. Has the county had a chance to inspect this or been called out to inspect?
The permits aren't issued at this time. When I reviewed them for compliance, they were scanned-in drawings. They have no digital seal on it. We recently moved to digital permitting only. The issue is that this is a floodplain. This is an area that has been studied and mapped that it will flood, and at some point in time, it will flood to the elevation on that map. The building code requires that these structures stay in place, and they can't move. There's no lateral movement, buoyancy, or collapse permitted. I'm not an engineer, so I won't speak on the exact parameters of what it would need to meet. As Mr. Broussard has described it, that wouldn't meet the typical shed tie-down requirements that we see on multiple other types of permits.
Would he be allowed to perform the work himself?
Yeah, owner-builder.
Okay.
The only issue we have is a lack of engineering verifying flood requirements, or the design requirements for those structures to remain in place.
And those are coming.
So, yeah, and so, I mean, I don't know how long it'll take, but it is something you're gonna have to work with the county on. It sounds like this has been going now for 6 months. All right, is there anything else you'd like to tell me, Mr. Broussard?
She didn't bring up the addition yet. When we moved in, there was an addition on the back of the house, and I have a permit number, but I cannot find the permit. It's from 95.
So she did mention an addition, but are you saying that it actually should be permitted and not the subject of this case?
Well, no, it was permitted.
Okay.
Um,
Is this a part of the case?
Yes, sir, it is, and I've looked in our archives, Barracuda, I've looked, or eBridge, everything, and it will go back. We have archived records to go back that far. There is plumbing and electric added to the addition, and I can't find a permit on that anywhere. Typically,
Do you have a copy of any documents relating to this permit or the addition that you'd like to offer?
Just the number.
Okay, yeah, I mean, what's the number?
57543.
Okay, and that's a permit number?
That's what it said on the paper.
What's the paper?
That's a list we got when we bought the house that had certain things like about the new roof, the permit for the shed, or for the addition.
Well, you also mentioned photo. Is there anything that you want to introduce into evidence
Yeah.
for me to look at?
So these are listed. No, these ones. This one's work. So this-
Actually, yeah,
Same
give it to the
ones.
county if you
Oops.
would first.
That's the two you showed, right?
Let them look at it and let's
yeah.
see if they have any objection. If you would, bring it to Ms. Harrison.
No. Mm-mm.
If it's a 1995 permit, then that's not, no.
It would be formatted for,
95 permits were formatted 95.
Okay,
so.
then I would like to see these. Thank you.
To notice the year.
And then
All right, so walk me through these documents if you would. What is this a picture of?
That is the original, when we bought the house, that's what it looked like.
All right, so I'm going to admit these as Composite Exhibit C, and I'm going to write on them.
That's fine,
Okay,
yeah.
and I'm going to write this first page C1. So C1 is what?
That's the original, that's when we moved in the house, that's what it looked like.
But what is this room
It's
or
just a
porch?
porch on the back that's covered and
Okay.
screened in.
Okay. And this is another picture of that porch?
Yep.
I'll mark that as C2. And what is this?
That is a renovation we did about a year and a half ago. Same porch,
Oh, okay, okay. C3
same thing, just a different angle.
and C4 is just the same room, different angle. All right. Why are you introducing, what is the purpose of this in evidence?
I didn't get a permit to do the renovation because I didn't know I needed one for a renovation. The electricity was hooked up when we got there. The water softener is the plumbing she's talking about. we got rid of that water softener, and I had built a little pump barn, and then we moved the water softener into the pump barn. I capped those two lines off, the intake and the output, and that's it.
Okay. Are there any other documents such as the one that had the permit number you were talking about?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I thought you were just looking at it, though. You looked at it.
Now, there was some others. I have the elevations. I have this one that you probably have.
But I thought you had a piece of paper that had the permit number on it.
I did. Oh, yeah, that's this one.
I mean, I'm just, is it something that you
This
can
is just, I
give?
wrote it on this one.
Is that your notes or is it,
Yeah.
what kind? Oh, it is, okay. All right, let me just take a look at the county's exhibits real quick. I want to have a better idea of the property we're talking about. It's a nice looking property.
It used to look worse.
Let's see. You didn't know that you needed a permit for all this stuff before you did it?
Kinda new. So I got the permit for the barn and the poo shed.
You did know?
Yeah.
I mean, of course you did. Yeah, okay. At least you're being honest. I appreciate that. That's, okay. Is there anything, did I already ask for the public? Is there anyone in the public who wants to be heard on this? County, do you have anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, sir, we don't recognize 57543. It's not one of our permits.
Well, yeah, the issue for me is, for all I know, it's an application without being issued. The county sometimes provides numbers at that point. I have no idea what would have happened back then. But either way, I don't have evidence of a permit for it.
The second thing I'd like to bring to your attention is in Exhibit B, you'll see the permit he's referring to for the big shed and poo, both originally with no electric. And when they were inspected, they were inspected with no electric.
That's wrong, because the electrical inspector that came to inspect my pole barn,
Yeah, tell me what's going on, Mr.
the
Broussard.
electrical inspector who came to do my pole barn a few months ago was the same guy that inspected my electricity at the barn. He remembered it. So the electrical was done. The only thing he told me to do was to cap off some 220 lines that I had were sticking out.
So on page, I'm in Exhibit B, but on the page after the legend tab, okay? Which I think is similar to the page that he had. Well, no, hold on, I'll ask you if you don't mind. What does this mean, number 3, poo shed, poo, P-O-O-H, as in Winnie the Pooh? I don't know why, but not, we're high class here. It says there's handwriting that has an arrow to the word passed, and it says no permit.
So what's in red is the permit that he got. The red permit number is for poo shed. He had that one permitted and it passed. And then the slash means, however, he still needs a permit for electric, plumbing, and elevation.
It passed, like the structural passed. Okay. I just want to be on the same page, but there's 13 things listed.
You'll see where it says no permit. There should be 12 that say no permit.
There are, oh, I see.
And then the,
No.
So
So
then-
there are, I'll just tell you the numbers that say no permit.
All right, let me-
1, 2, 4 through 11,
3, 4.
and that's it. 1, 2, and 4 through 11.
So on number 13, over in the far left corner,
I mean, 13,
see the number 13 in the far left column, I'm sorry.
yeah,
So that says barn, later added service. So same thing, if I forgot to put no permit, I apologize. So the red number means the barn.
well, you wrote no permit in.
Okay.
Okay,
So that means that that barn was permitted, and it was set and permitted and inspected, and it passed. However, it needs an alteration to either structurally disconnect the lean-tos to retain the 600 square feet of enclosed space. You're going to see in my Exhibit B, the site plan with a drawing of that barn, and it says no electric. I believe it's signed by Mr. Broussard. So the last three is not ours, it belongs to code enforcement. And so we got
okay, I understand.
So I can tell you which ones are, oh.
Okay, I just want to understand for the record, so I now understand what the county's case is, and I understand what's been finaled, and I understand the 11 remaining issues based on what's in Exhibit B. Mr. Broussard, I just want you to explain to me, which is the one that you're saying had everything approved in terms of the electric?
The barn and poo shed.
So both, okay.
Now, these are the signed off permits.
Okay, that seems like that's relevant evidence for me. Can you show it to the county, and we'll see if,
Right, but
we don't need to comment on it. He wants to introduce it in evidence, so I just want to know if you have an objection to it.
just one
They need
moment,
to hand it to me
please.
so I can make a determination.
Oh, sorry.
Your Honor, the county has no objection to what appear to be county documents going in. I would object to the characterization of what Mr.
Okay,
Broussard
well, let me
is
look,
saying.
you'll have a chance to
Yeah.
comment on it. I just want to let him introduce it. He's the one proffering it.
23.
I want you to be on the microphone so you have your record laid, if you would. Let me take a look at it. We'll admit this as Exhibit D. And so, let me just look at it real quick, okay? Because I know why you're seeking to introduce it. Okay, I'm halfway through. Okay, let me talk to the county. Ms. Harrison, you wanted to tell me something about it?
Yes, I was attempting to look at the descriptions of the documents because from what I can tell, and I might get these numbers wrong because I don't have them in front of me any longer, but it looks like 2 of them from 2023 specifically say, like, enclosure only, no electrical on them.
They do.
I don't have the legend to try and figure out which buildings
They're
those
all for the poo shed.
2 are.
Because they all refer to the permit number for the poo shed.
Okay, then,
And the final one on here says revision January 23, and I'll give you this if you want it. Meter box and breaker box to be upgraded to 400 amp system, adding electric to existing shed, building 2023-20177, which is the poo shed. Flood zone AE, all electric must meet elevation 10 foot, existing grade approximately 7 foot, verified by inspectors, and it's finalized on March 8th, 2024.
as long as we can connect, and it sounds like you did, we have no objection to withdrawing the electrical aspect only
You're right,
of
right.
the poo shed of our violation. The other portions of violations would remain.
You won on the electrical, on the poo shed. But that still leaves,
The barn should have been on that too, because the inspector inspected the barn and
the
the
barn-
poo shed.
no, but it's the other aspects of the,
Oh,
and also the barn isn't mentioned on these.
should have been, because they were both on the same permit.
Nope. They're all, no, so the permit I have for the barn is 2023-22257. So if you have any other,
Okay, I probably have those somewhere. I just grabbed those 4 because I thought that was all I needed. But I'll look and see if I can find the ones for the barn. But like I said, the inspector who did the one the other day did do the barn after all the plugs were in and all hooked up.
I have a couple questions for the county. Could you have brought this case earlier? Is this the first chance you've had to bring the case?
I could have, but I was working with him trying. I know it's a lot of work. It's very convoluted. So I was giving him as much time as we could. And then
It
kinda
also, the
stalled.
fine amount requested seems unusual from you based on the facts.
It does. He's got a lot, and I'm compassionate to that. I mean, I'm not here to hurt anybody. It's just, I felt that was reasonable.
Okay.
I
I'm
do
just trying to
have-
fully understand, like, are there things I don't know? But that makes sense.
There is something.
Okay.
So on a poo shed of that size, on that permit, and it's understandable, but when he had one of our meetings, I asked him, I said, what does your wife do in her she shed that would warrant 400 amps of service? And looked at me very quizzical, and he said, there's no 400 amps of service. I said, then where did it go? And without a permit, he said he put one of the 200 amps with the existing 200 amps next to his home, and he put the other 200 amps next to the barn that we told him he could not have any electric on. When the power company came out to energize, they didn't know what was what, so they energized both because they had a permit for 400 amps. So we stand with no electric on the barn.
I've read the declaration of land restriction that I think you're talking about that was signed, and it's for the barn. And it has the permit number 2023-22257 on it. Where in it is he saying that there won't be electric?
May I show you the permit?
Okay. I mean, is it part of my evidence?
The part of your evidence is the drawing of the barn. You should have that in Exhibit B.
Okay.
And it shows no electric. Now, he did submit 2 different site plans. The first one he submitted in August was to close in the barn, and we didn't accept it. So the second one, I believe, was, I think, in November. He resubmitted showing that it was open. All those documents you'll see, no electric on the ones for the barn. Now, our inspector who went out there, he is very qualified, and he would never have passed it if there was existing electric on it. And Mr. Broussard told me when he met with me personally that he kept referring to, she said I could have electric, and when I determined who that was.
I'm trying to understand, why is this declaration of land restriction a part of the evidence then? What's the point of it? I'm just curious. I don't know if you...
When he signs this declaration, he's signing this part that he will not make any modifications because this went with that permit for the barn. This is part of our attachments, specifically for the barn. And so he signed this document saying that if you make any modifications, we are authorized to take action.
If that's the only reason, then I do understand that. I get that. I thought there was just more to it. Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Broussard, or Ms. Broussard?
A lot of pictures, a lot of stuff. So we talked about the closing in of the barn on the sides. There's a 15-foot opening on one end, 15-foot opening on the other end. What they're talking about, the close-in, I'll show you.
Why don't you show it to the county and we'll make a record.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
That's the barn. That's where the wings looking out.
No. I just want to know if there's an objection from the county.
Is there an objection?
She can do the objection. I'll provide comment.
I'm sorry? Sure.
Is this your barn on your property? Did you take this photograph?
I do.
When did you take the photograph?
About a week ago.
No objection.
Okay. All right, it'll be admitted as Exhibit E, and I want to ask you about it. So what is the point of this?
They said I can't close in my sides, so to keep the leaves and dirt out, I put plastic on the top half, and then that's 4 foot of mesh that's screwed along the bottom edge, so that if the water comes in, it's not blocked by a solid wall. And then, like I said, there's 2 openings 15 feet wide on each end of the thing. So if the water's going to go through, it's going to go through.
All right, what's the county's position on this?
In 2021, we modified our floodplain ordinance to include a higher standard. The higher standard is that if it's in flood zone AE, you have 600 square feet of enclosed area that you're allowed to have. In our current, after 2024, when I became floodplain manager and then administrator, that square area is determined by the floor area. And it aligns with building code for anything under the horizontal projection of the roof line. That is considered your gross floor area. Nowadays, the shed would not be approved the way that it is right now, the barn, sorry. I understand there were prior interpretations, those did not align with the building code, so I've tried to be graceful with this. That is a non-compliant building with any form of walls on it. It does not mesh with code.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other evidence, Mr. Broussard?
I've got the range and the other shed. Let me find those two real quick. So like I said, the range has been converted into a wood shed because before all this started, I was going to build a wood shed. And now that I can't, I just converted the range because I'm getting rid of the range. That's the wood, or this is the range.
Okay.
And these are the, I said barn in the back, that removed from the front to the back.
Okay.
Your Honor, the only objection is that the stacks of wood aren't part of the violation. I just see stacks of wood, I don't see a structure.
Okay. We'll get into that. All right.
So this is the corner.
If you would, it's already, I'll admit it. I'm going to admit it as, I think I'm on F, Composite Exhibit F. Okay. Okay. All right, let's just briefly discuss this. Again, I'm going to label them. This is going to be F1. What is this?
That is the pole barn in the back that was on the property when I moved there. The same thing, it's got plastic on the top, it's got a mesh around the bottom, 4 feet high, but it's also 8 inches off the ground on cinder block.
All right. F2?
Same thing.
Okay. F3?
Same thing, just different angles. You can see through the meshes without what's showing, so that the water can go through.
F4?
Same thing.
I don't know that the building code is as forgiving as you think it is. F5?
Same thing.
In other words, you know, there's a lot of requirements in there. Okay, and then this.
That's the old pistol range that was there when I moved in. You can see the corner post, 2x4s on the left. That's where one corner is, and you can see the back corner. What I did is I put slats about a foot apart, bottom slats at least a foot off the ground, so that if any water goes through, there's nothing to stop it.
Do you have any other evidence you wish to introduce?
Sit on those.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to find that there's a violation. I don't think it's that difficult. I do think that you have shown that you do have permitted electrical in the poo shed, and so that's not going to be found to be a violation. Everything else is, and I'm not going to give 60 days. I'm going to give 90 days, but the fine amount, if it's not brought into compliance within 90 days, is going to be higher. I don't think 150 is appropriate for someone who knew better. You're smart, Mr. Broussard. You know, and you've done a lot of this yourself. It's going to be a $350 a day fine if it's not brought in compliance in 90 days, and that's it.
We didn't talk about the pool.
Actually, the evidence is in the record.
Okay.
All right.
So I've got drawings coming on that also.
Get it in compliance. You've got 90 days. Good luck.
You can send me a new list?
Sir, the hearing's over, and I encourage you to be in touch with the county.
Next case, Your Honor, is Peter Gariglia, case number 2025-01784. License Compliance Officer Timothy Williams expert on the case is Mr. Samuel Acosta. It's on page 12 of your agenda, and this is a fine appeal, sir.
Okay.
Raise your right hands. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you would state your name for the record, sir?
Peter Gariglia.
Okay. All right, so we're here on a fine appeal. I remember you and I remember your name, but I don't remember all the facts. So tell me what's going on.
I believe on January 23rd, there was a hearing, and I was given 75 days. There were 4 structures involved. So I went to work immediately on the 2 that I had control over, and I got them taken down, and I was in constant communication with Mr. Williams by email and phone, and went through several engineers before I finally got someone to agree to do it, because most of them didn't want to do after-the-fact permitting. So I went to work on getting the plans done, the site plans, and unfortunately was at the mercy of other people. So everything did eventually get done, and I was in compliance, am in compliance. I have a letter from the county about being in compliance. It was not done in the 75 days. It did go over, but I tried very, very hard to get it done in that time frame. I mean, I didn't realize when all this first started what was involved.
Do you have documents you want to introduce or for me to look at? Like you said, the letter. I don't know if the county has the letter.
I have the letter of compliance.
Anything you want me to take a look at, I'd like to see, you know, whether, now if you do, it's going to become evidence for this hearing. I'm going to
That's
take your
fine.
copy of it, yeah.
That's fine.
You can give him these if you want.
All right. I'm sorry, bear with me for one
That's
second
okay.
here.
Mr. Williams, do you remember the case?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, is the property in compliance?
Yes, it
When did
is.
it come into compliance?
It came into compliance 7 days after he was,
After the deadline?
After the deadline, yes.
Okay. Does the county have a position on the fine appeal?
At this point, we leave it to the court's discretion, just that we have to have the cost of care, the
You
cost
have to have
of
I see.
the administrative cost.
Okay. Do you have any other testimony you wish to offer?
Unless
Well,
Brenda
again, my
McKenzie
name
wants.
is Brenda McKenzie, McKenzie Permitting and Consulting. Pete contacted me after he was trying to get it on his own. We did contact several engineering firms. They're all busy. And then they have to come out and do measurements when it's, you know, an existing structure. It took a little while to get the drawings done. Then an engineer has to seal the draftsman's work. Then we submitted. We had a little bit of confusion on whether it was going to be reviewed in-house or private provider, whether it was an existing shed or site built. It's been there 15 years. So even though it was prefab, we couldn't find any engineering, so we had to get drawings. Ended up, he did have to hire a private provider, very expensive. Did that and got the inspections, and it did take a little bit longer. But believe me, Pete called me every day, a million times a day, diligently. And even with me doing it for decades, it took a little bit to get the right person to come out and get the plans and everything submitted. So I apologize it took a few days longer.
All right. The point of these cases is compliance. It's not because the county is trying to make money off you. So I will go ahead and sustain the appeal, except to the extent that the county had investigative costs and other, whether there's cost of prosecution, all the miscellaneous costs beyond the daily fine will still stand. I don't know what that amount is off the top of my head. We'd have to look at it. But I will take away the daily fine that accrued after the denial. It was only 7 days. So the rest of the costs will remain, but otherwise I'll sustain your appeal.
Thank you.
Okay? Good luck.
Thank you.
He'll get you that.
You'll handle it. Thank you.
He'll get it to you. You won.
And I'm sorry, is there anyone from the public who wanted to be heard on that? I didn't ask for the public input.
You won.
All right, I don't see anyone.
Thank you.
Yep, good luck.
Next case, Your Honor, is Citrusure LLC, care of Ms. Karen Cunningham. Case number 202501624. Licensed Compliance Officer Timothy Williams. Page number 7 on your agenda. With the expert is Mr. Building Official Samuel Acosta. This is also an appeal.
Mr. Landon, did I accurately represent county policy at the last hearing?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right.
If you would raise your right hand for me, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name for the record, please.
Karen Cunningham?
Okay. All right, so I probably am also going to need to be reminded about this one. Could you help me?
Yeah. I hired a fellow to do some interior work on a home I just purchased. The company was called CPR, Citrus Renovation Properties. We were only doing new floors, painting, doors, interior, painting cabinets. And then when they went in to pull out the subfloor that was there, they found a huge termite nest, which made that whole section of the house have to be renovated, pulling things out. And so they pulled the stuff out and so that they could treat for termites. And then they got flagged for demolition. And this fellow was not a GC. So then we started the process of getting the GC to do a permit for the renovations that needed to be done. The CPR has since ceased operations. I received a notice on February 16th that they're no longer doing business. Then the fellow who ran it called me and said he was going to take care of ours. And so then the GC that he had hired to sign so that we could get the permit, which I'd been told several times that the permit was actually already acquired, he wouldn't sign off the day before the hearing because he said he was getting calls that this man who ran CPR was not completing work for other people and he was not putting his name on it. So that started a whole new process of getting a new contractor. And so now we finally have the permit. The prior contract, CPR, has walked off with about 50 grand. I was lied to through the entire process. And so I don't know what else I could have done except for trust the man that I hired who had 6 employees at the time when I hired him. It just went downhill from that day on.
Okay, so let me rewind. So it says on the notes here, I granted 30 days from February 2nd, 2026 to abate the violation. What was the violation?
The violation was for renovation and remodel of a single-family home, and it had a carport, but they took the carport down.
Is that it? Was that the only issue?
The renovation.
What was the renovation, though? I mean,
interior of the garage, there was concrete, electric, plumbing.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to tear everything out.
Living room, there was a jack holding up the living room ceiling.
Okay, I remember this. And I only granted 30 days. Okay, so is it in compliance today?
Yes, it is.
When was it brought into compliance?
On April 29th.
Okay.
The permit was issued.
How much of a fine has accrued?
It was 55 days at 250, around 13,750 plus court costs.
Okay.
Can I still speak?
Yeah.
I just want to say I did as much as I could, and I believed that he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. That's the reason I hired him.
Right.
And then he closed shop, and he's on Citrus County's Sheriff's Department as one of the most wanted. And I hadn't even filed my case against him, which I did the other day.
Okay, so it accrued at 55 days, and I guess basically running from March 5th?
March 5th to
Okay, until April 29th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does anyone have any evidence of the underlying violation or the original case? It's not necessary, it's a fine appeal, but I'm just
I do.
curious. I'd like to see them, if you don't mind.
Yeah, as I stated, I hired him just to redo floors and everything, and the termites is what caused the,
Okay, let me know if you have any objection to these documents being evidence in the hearing.
he also was pulling out a wall that he didn't realize was load-bearing.
Hmm.
And so he started pulling it out, and that's why he put the jack up. Yep, that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically, you're saying you're the victim of bad, really bad contractors, and, yeah, let me just take a look.
I understand there's about 4 others, maybe 5.
How much did it cost to fix this?
Nothing's been fixed yet. We just got the permit.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotcha,
the
so it
beam
still
is
looks,
in.
yeah.
The beam is in. That's the only thing they're working on doors right now, but
Okay.
nothing, he demolished the stuff inside so that we could get the termites taken care of.
Do you have any reason to disbelieve anything I've heard today?
No, I do not.
Okay. What's the county's position on the fine appeal?
We'll leave it to the court's discretion as long as administrative costs and prosecution costs are covered.
Yeah, okay, I'll sustain the appeal. I'll keep all the costs beyond the daily fine. You know, it's unrebutted for the purposes of the hearing that this, in my view, I guess, was not in the responsibility of the owner and was fixed as quickly as possible. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, Your Honor, Unique Kingdom, case number 2025-00134. Licensed Compliance Officer Deborah D. Maria. Building expert, expert will be building official Mr. Samuel Acosta, page 18 of your agenda.
Raise your right
Bless
hand
you.
for me. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you would state your name for the record.
Gene Bonanni.
And what was that, sir?
Gene Bonanni.
How do I spell the last name?
Bonaney.
Bonaney?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, so this gentleman purchased a piece of property. First of all, the complainant came to me from Environmental Health.
Well, wait, let's be clear. So are you an owner or agent
I'm the
of
owner.
Unique Kingdom?
I'm the owner, yes.
Okay, thank you.
He purchased a single-family dwelling built in 1947, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, part of my exhibit, and he has converted it to a triplex. He's covered walls, doors, windows, glass doors, put drywall up. I entered via the tenant in the middle, allowed me to come inside and see his conversion, 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom. I have pictures of the electrical panel that is labeled. It is, well, did you want to tell them about the?
You got one panel in the whole thing?
One panel, and it's wired very not to code. I would like to say that he is a general contractor, right? You hold 2 licenses in the state of Florida for roof and GC.
Well, yeah, if
And-
you would, just give me testimony
Okay.
and I'll
I
give
just
him a
got to make
chance.
sure I'm talking to the right person. So anyway, I went through the whole inside, and then the original complainant back prior to me even coming to this division, I found her number and I called her and I asked her if she lived there also. She stated that she did. She lived in the studio apartment on the right side. I sent her pictures of the studio apartment, asked her to confirm that this is where she lived, and she said yes. I said, was that your only entrance on the side of the house to get into the studio? And she said yes. And there was a front and back entrance for the middle part, but they could not get into the left side. Now, the evidence that I have is he evicted these tenants, and so these documents are on the clerk of court site, and they show Unit A and Unit B, and then I have an email stating that the other lady was in C.
Okay. And have you had contact with the owner?
He has not received, all my documents were returned. I had to post at this property here.
Just a yes or no? I mean, have you
No,
had
sir.
contact? Okay.
Oh, actually I have.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. He did call, and he did state that it was not a triplex. And he did state that in the state of Florida, you're allowed to rent out rooms, which you are, but you are not allowed to add walls and segregate them. He said that it used to be an ACLF, so I reached out to Environmental Health, because if it is an ACLF, they know about it, and the email came back that it was never made an ACLF, and it doesn't show that in the listing.
I thought you said in the beginning that this came to you by environmental health.
Environmental Health, right, it did.
But
They're
you
the
said
ones.
there was an original complainant.
Yes, this got lost in the shuffle. It originally came from the tenant in Unit C.
You're saying the
And-
county had knowledge of it beforehand due to an original complainant in Unit C,
Yes, sir.
and you're calling that the studio?
That's what it is listed as a studio.
Okay. And so then nothing happened based on that complaint.
Right. So what happened with Environmental Health is the people who were living after she left, there's new tenants in there, and the septic system is not meant for that many people. And so it backed up into one of the units, and he went out, dug it up, broke the line to relieve the pressure because it was coming into his side of the bathroom, shower tubs. And so that's what he did. And then they called Environmental Health. And
Who's they?
that tenant on that side. And so Environmental Health then brought it to me stating that, this is segregated. It's 3 separate units.
When you say that, and by the way, I'll get to you and I want to hear your verdict, but I want to fully understand the county's position. So when you say that the septic wasn't designed to handle that many people, I mean, you're telling me originally it was a 3-bedroom.
Mhm.
In a 3-bedroom, how many people can you have? I mean, how is the number
So it
any
was sold
different?
as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It is currently a 6-bedroom, 3-bath. So there was a bathroom added. And
I know, but I guess what I'm saying is, I've seen families with 10 people live in a 3-bedroom. So
it's a
why is this?
1947. It just wasn't built for updated code for septic.
Okay.
Because
So it's not
1947.
necessarily the number of bedrooms, it's just an old septic that really may not be suited for modern times.
Mhm,
Okay.
And multiple people.
You said it was the same septic from 1947?
Apparently, it did get some repair work on it whenever this was called into Environmental Health.
Okay.
So,
Harry Truman was president in 1947, so that would be impressive. Okay, is there anything else that you want to tell me?
I don't believe so.
Do you have exhibits?
I do.
I'd like to see them before I turn to the defendant. And so, sir, what I'd like to ask you to do is let me know if you've seen this already, but let me know if you have any objection to these documents being evidence in the hearing.
Yes, definitely I have objection because, can I give you what I have?
You will. I mean, you'll get your
Definitely I
opportunity.
have objection, I'm sorry.
Well, you will have an opportunity. I mean, And you will also have an opportunity to comment on these, assuming they come into evidence, and I want you to have that opportunity. This is really, you know, do you have a legal basis that I shouldn't consider these?
Exactly. So, I'm gonna reject these. Why? Because when the tenant first called environmental health, the situation was he was getting evicted. I haven't got paid since December to now, so it's been a little tough for us, and we still had to pay the mortgage. So that's one. So the tenant and the eviction judge even noticed that. So the tenant is the one that created those violations in order to slow the process of his eviction. But because the eviction judge, go through these a lot, when I showed my evidence, what I had, even on his lease, he was responsible for that. And he
For what? For what exactly?
For the sewer, he broke the top of it's just a clean out. He broke it, and then he has a bobcat. I barricade where the septic tank is at. There's a barricade around it. And he removed the barricade. He drove his skids to break it. And then he called environmental health and called environmental.
Well, I get what you're saying, but my question is about the exhibits, the county. So like, why can't I?
Okay, so the reason why you can't use these.
Or shouldn't consider
Yeah,
them.
you shouldn't consider them, because when the tenant called them, code violation came in, and then code violation called her. So when she came in, she didn't have, the only evidence that she had was pictures of the pipe that they broke off and the lid. And I think she had the carport, right? That was it. So when they left, when we came to the property, I seen her card. So that I called, because they said call. I seen the code enforcement's information and her information. So I called her. I told her, hey, this is what's going on. The tenant is the one that's creating this to slow his process. So when he goes to eviction, he could tell him, hey, this is why I'm not paying, because there's a violation. But a good thing for me, I keep all my documents on my lease, because he has a lot of kids. When we wrote the lease, I said, hey, you are responsible if the toilet gets stopped. So all that's on his lease, so he is responsible. But to make the long story short, when I find out about the violation, I called immediately to code enforcement, and I called her. And I told her what's going on. This tenant is just doing this out of spite. So I asked her, what do you have? She was telling me it's only the septic tank and that. So I told her, ma'am, she said that the tenant allegedly told him I did extra rooms in the house, this and that. I said, well, I don't want you to go back in the property unless I'm here. So here's my number. If you're gonna come back to the house, call me so I can meet you there, you know? And she said she will. So evidently she went back on her own and took these pictures. And they probably even broke in the back room, because the back room was locked. How did they get in? So they violated my rights by doing that, and I told her, let me walk you through, you know, and they didn't do that. So the only picture she had was of the septic tank, which that was the original code. I have evidence here of the code violation, and you're not gonna see, because they came the same day. On the code violation, there's nothing, all this stuff that she got on the code violation. Why? Because it was only a he say, she say from the tenant, right? So I have these violations here, and I would like to present them to you.
All right, we'll get to that. So we're dealing with the objections to the
Right,
county.
yeah,
I've heard your objection. How did you get access to the property?
The tenant was still living there, and Environmental Health gave me his phone number, and I called him. I did speak with him, and I asked him if he would meet me on site, since he told me it is not a triplex. I said, then you'll meet me on site and let me see it, and he said no. That's when I called the tenant, and he said, yes, you can come in.
I mean, it's the county's burden to prove it, but let me, the answer to my question was you were given access by the tenant. And,
Yes, sir.
And the defendant has made strong case for why credibility could be challenged, but nonetheless, had an order of eviction been entered at the time that you were on the property,
Oh,
to the best of your knowledge, or?
I explained that to her. I
Hold
told
on,
her.
I'm sorry, I'm talking to the
see,
county.
there were 3 separate units, so I'm not sure if the one in the middle had his eviction notice, but I believe he did.
So you came in through the middle, and that tenant had already, well, what I mean is, do you know if an order from a judge had been issued?
No, sir,
Okay,
no judge.
okay. I'm gonna overrule the objection, and I'll take a look at the exhibits.
I even have it on the email. I probably had to find the email. I did let her know. I told her this case, that's before her taking these pictures, that these, that the tenant is going to eviction, and he's the one that broke the pipes in order to create a violation. So he's the one that created these violations.
I don't, so I'm gonna take a look at the exhibits. They'll be admitted into evidence. Exhibits
not only that-
A and B, is it A and B that you've got?
And not only that, the pictures that she has right now are pictures of the back room, which had a lock on it. So they broke it to get in there. After I told her, she had to wait for me, call me, and then
I'll explain how
walked.
the law really works. Can I see the exhibits?
Yes, you can. I'm just looking, can I look at the rest? I just want to make sure I'm looking at all the
That's
pictures.
fair. So the reason why I'm overruling the objection is that it's true that when normally if a code officer is present on the property without permission, from an owner, then they shouldn't have the right to be there. And photos that are taken when that happens, I shouldn't normally consider.
Exactly.
But you had people in possession of the property who were there prior. So if someone, in other words, if you have a tenant can give the county permission to come onto property. So that's why I'm overruling the objection. I'll take a look at the exhibits. And also the county's case isn't just about the septic. I mean, basically what I'm hearing is the county's case is that unpermitted work was done to convert the house, to change the rooms, I guess, drywall, covered windows, and
Yes, sir, egress, ingress,
which is a violation of the building code
Yes, sir.
because they can't, fire code, I mean, so what you're saying is, for some units, at least one unit, they only have one route in and out, which would also be a violation.
right, the middle had, well, no, one on the far right had one way out.
Right.
The one on the left, I'm not sure, he says I broke in, but those are from his posting online for the studio apartment. My Google search is dated in the bottom right corner.
Well, don't worry about that. I mean, I'm just I want to make it clear what the county's case
Right.
is. It's not the septic.
It is making a triplex. He is being taxed currently on a single-family residential house,
Right.
and he's made it,
Yes, Your Honor, you are correct.
Okay.
If-
Okay.
Yeah.
Creating a triplex by code requires
That-
him to upgrade the septic system, then that would be part of the triplex permit. Just the fact that he has it or the lid got busted, that's not what we're here about.
This wouldn't be the first tenant that tried to create problems for a landlord because they're in an eviction and then they try to,
Exactly.
but it doesn't mean that you aren't guilty of some kind of a code violation. It could be that if you did these things that the county's presenting, that it's a violation because you have to get a permit to do these things. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. When we purchased the property 3 years ago, the property was just the way it is. Exactly how it is, that's how it is now.
And
That's
that's
how
a
we
problem
purchased.
too, because if your seller, if the person who sold that property to you represented that there was nothing wrong and they're responsible, you might have a lawsuit against them because It's the owner who's responsible.
But they're not really professionals, so there's a lot of stuff they're saying, even if you look, just look at the pictures and I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
They're looking at a electrical panel. If you had an electrical, contractor here, it's just a regular electrical panel with, things written on that. It's supposed to be like that.
No, they agree with that.
That's,
The county actually agrees
Right.
with you, but that's actually part of the problem, is for this type of property, to have this kind of a panel is inappropriate.
no, that panel is, what you mean by that?
Can you explain to him?
So if you're going to have oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, just looking at the picture.
Can you come to the microphone?
Oh,
I
I'm
can hear
sorry.
you, but.
Yeah, looking at the photos, you can see the conductors coming out of the top of the panel are exposed. That would not be in compliant, that would be a National Electrical Code violation. And also, it's my understanding that there's one panel for the entire structure.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is that correct? One electrical panel for the entire structure? Is that the only panel there? I don't know.
No, the house have two panels.
Two? Okay,
Yeah,
well, it needs three.
No, see, so let me explain what they're saying and where they're getting it wrong at. They're saying it's a triplex. It's not a triplex. Just because there's three different tenants, it's not a triplex. Still considered a single-family home. It's just a door that's blocked, and they're able to come on the other side. So it just separate, just doors separating. It's not a triplex. They keep saying triplex. That's not what it is. A triplex has three different things. What they're saying would be correct, but this is not a triplex. It's just a door that's closed, and I just rent that room. We just renting rooms. That's it. That's the only thing. But it's not a triplex. So I want to make that clear to the court. It's not a triplex. We just rent it to three different. The house is big, so we just one door is closing off from the other from each other. That's it. Nothing
What is
else.
the north bedroom? What is the north bedroom? Let's see. Let's Okay. Let me take a look at Exhibit B. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it.
So maybe I could explain it to you a little bit so you could know what you're looking at. So basically, from one to the other unit, it's just a door, and it looked like the owner had put a wall there. That's it. So you take that wall out, you could just go straight through. So it's not different units. It's just a wall that's there that separates from one room to the other. That's it.
It can be if he got it permitted.
Okay, here we go. Where is the second electrical panel?
It's in the back room, yeah. And like I said, it's just a wall that's separating them. It's just one house. That's it.
The county actually agrees with you. The problem is you have to have a permit to put those things in,
Yeah, like I said, I bought it like that.
which, you know, the problem is this happens a lot in our hearings where someone buys a piece of property and the seller puts something unpermitted. It's happened one of the hearings we had today. Someone bought 2 unpermitted things. It doesn't mean they don't have to then get the permits for it. They might have a lawsuit against the seller, like you might. I'm looking through this. In other words, I'm looking at the property appraiser card to see what was actually permitted.
So basically, if those walls are taken down, then it'll be back to its original. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see.
Excuse me.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? Now, did you have evidence that you wanted to introduce?
It's just the first violation from the code, because the code enforcement gave us a violation. They came out, they told us what to do, and we did it. All this extra stuff, now I could present it to you.
If you want me to look at it, I will.
Yeah.
Can you show it to the county attorney?
Your Honor, just for clarification, this isn't a code case. This is from the health department.
Okay.
So this isn't the county.
I'd still like to see it.
I have no objection to it.
Thank you. Now, we did have a code compliance hearing earlier in the day, and I think Unique Kingdom was a defendant in that
They
case.
were, yes.
Was that your company?
Right. So when I came here this morning, not too long ago, she told me that I was supposed to be in court. So then nobody never properly served me. The only reason I'm in court today is because my son was on the property last week, and he ended up seeing this. And we got some friends across the street at the fire station, and they told us even the dates on here when they say serve is not even correct.
Okay.
So the dates they say they correct. So I didn't even know anything about court, so I got to even see who I need to talk to concerning what happened this morning, because they haven't been serving us.
I'll admit this document as Exhibit C from the Florida Department of Health, and I will take a look at it.
Yeah, because whenever we have violation, we're trying to take care of it as soon as possible. So all this she's showing me now, this is all new to me.
I do find it relevant since I think the county presented some evidence that I would have taken into account for purposes of fines or remedies regarding the sanitary issues. So I do think it's relevant for that. And then I'll also introduce the photos separately as Exhibit D.
Yes.
Okay. What's the county's recommendation?
Was it 30? It's $1,000 per day. I'm sorry about the delay here. 30 days.
Wait a second. So why would this be $1,000 a day and the other last case, $150 a day with 11 unpermitted? I mean, I'm curious.
Because he's a general contractor.
That don't make no
He
sense.
also says that he doesn't, he has an LLC, so he has a registered agent, and I sent those documents both to him, where he pays, where the tax bill goes to and where the property appraiser shows, and to his registered agent. I have a signed receipt from the post office that his registered agent received the documents.
I'm not concerned about notice. I guess, you know, I'm not sure, and I'm just having a conversation with you about it. The other guy admitted that he knew better before he added all those things. I mean, clearly he knew better, right? And kind of smirked his way through the hearing, you know. I mean, you and I saw the same thing. It was all that I could do not to do a much higher fine and penalty. But, and here, I mean, I agree, he's a general contractor. But what is the limit of my authority? I mean, 1,500 or?
I'm currently looking at that, Your Honor.
Okay.
Additionally, I believe part of the issue with this case is this is electrical issues in a rental that he's renting to possibly 3 other families, and it creates a safety hazard, whereas a shed, a pool, a deck, a carport don't create the same level of a safety hazard.
400 amps of God knows what?
That was licensed per poo shed was licensed. That was allowed
It
by.
didn't just go to the poo shed.
That's what the
Yeah.
thing said, but just as an example as to what
Okay.
it distinguishes the two. But let me look up the exact number, Your Honor, for daily fine.
Well, on the electrical, I mean, I looked at the photos. I see what you're saying.
It's a regular
It's
panel.
old. I mean,
Just a regular panel.
but I guess what is the? I mean, I didn't see.
And if they're not a electrical contractor, how would they know that's something's wrong with that panel? It's a regular panel. So these are just suggestions. If anything,
Wait, what's the suggestion?
If anything, I could hire electrical to come check it out and give them.
Well, it's got to be fixed.
Right.
There's no
I mean,
argument about that.
Well,
It's a violation. The question is, what are we going to do, and how much time are you going to have to fix it?
Well, to get that, we got to get to see even if it is something wrong with that, and then the rest of the stuff, I'm gonna call the previous owner. So I have an idea where the walls would be to make everything back to like its original state. But I'm gonna call them to find out, you know. But it's just one house, that's it, and that's just a electrical panel. So
Well, you can look at the property appraiser. The property appraiser has the layout
no,
of the way it's
I
supposed to
did.
be.
It don't show it in the property appraiser. I went there several times just to see the stuff, and what they have is just everything is there. There was nothing added, but it just squared it. It's not nothing that's like partitioned off. If you go look at it, because I've been there several times. Because right now what we're trying to do, we're trying to open a sobriety home there instead of dealing with tenants like that, you know. To try to help people that's coming out of sobriety and AA. So, yeah, see, it's like that. So it's not, when you have it there, it's not really, you know, that's an idea, but it's
There's a
kinda
different color for every room.
Right.
So Howard, what do you mean you can't tell? Of course you can tell.
I guess I got to look at it again for the walls. I mean, like to see where the walls is. You got to be in there to understand what I'm saying.
You're a general contractor. I mean, to the county's point, I can't believe you just argued that I can't tell from the property appraiser.
$1,000, Your Honor.
No, what I was saying, it's squared off. When you inside a house with that, it's kind of weird. It's just hard to explain. But I'm talking about where the walls was put up. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Did you have a recommended amount of time?
30, but
You
I
defer to
mean,
me? I'm the
yes.
special
Yeah.
master? Okay.
Mhm.
How much time, let's say,
We need at least 90 days.
You would
okay?
like 90 days?
Yeah, 60 to 90 days at least. I get a contractor, electrical contractor to come check it out and send the information to them. And then with the walls, so we could try to put it back to original, and then we could call them to come inspect. It might be less than that, but I would just say, at least 60 days.
May I say something? When you say 90 days, is that like to get the permit or to apply for the permit?
I'm not gonna do that, but I hear what you're saying. I mean, in order to bring the property into compliance,
Okay.
what has to be done? From the county's perspective, what has to be done to bring this property into compliance?
Well, he needs to apply for a permit to do what he intends to do.
Oh, I
Either
know.
Make it a duplex,
I
make
know.
it a single-family residence, what have you.
I know.
He added a kitchen and a bathroom or kitchens and,
No, these was already in the house when we purchased the house.
but the listing shows if that house were in 3 separate,
Wait,
because
let me see if we are on the same page. So if you buy a piece of property that's supposed to be vacant, like it's a vacant piece of land because there's no permit for the house that you bought.
Right.
But you buy the house, like it's a 3-2, whatever, but it's not permitted. And then the county comes around and says, the house isn't permitted. You've got to abate this by getting a permit or bulldozing it.
Right.
I mean, are you saying that the owner can't be responsible in that situation? Or that I should
The
allow?
previous owner, repeat that again. I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, like, let's say that this was you, though. You bought a house that was unpermitted, the whole house.
Right.
Just didn't have a permit, but someone got it onto a 1/4 acre lot, supposed to be vacant. I mean, is it your contention that the person who buys it in good faith, not knowing that it was a violation, shouldn't be responsible? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, well, yes. Well, from my background and me knowing, yes, because I seen situations like that before, so that's why I'm willing to do what to bring it back to code and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. But we're just gonna need more time, But when she was saying that I add this, the house, we bought it like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be fixed. So,
So I try to pull a permit,
Well, hold on, let me think about it. So, you need to see either a permit pulled. Well, actually, for anything to be done, a permit's gonna have to be pulled. Does the violation go away when a permit is pulled or when the work is done pursuant to the permit?
Well, that's kind of something I've been trying to figure out here at some of these hearings. The thing is, once he applies for a permit and we issue the permit, he has 180 days before it expires.
I see.
So, I mean, that's plenty of time to get this done.
Right,
So I say apply for the permit.
Mm-hmm.
That should be one
he has to get plans.
That should be one milestone.
But doesn't he have to get some kind of, I mean, he can't just get it done tonight. What's necessary to
And it
apply for
takes
the
time.
permit.
Right.
So that's,
There's kind of like 2 milestones to me. One, applying for the permit, the other one, letting the permit close.
mm-hmm,
The system will force the issue
okay.
once we apply, but giving him 90 days to apply for the permit, to me, seems extensive.
The reason
Oh,
why I
I'm not
say
gonna
that,
do that.
no, let me tell you why. It could be less, and a lot of people's going through it right now because most architects, they're so busy. They might tell you 1 month, it might be 3-4 months before they give it to you. So you're in the mercy of the architect. Because we have to provide those plans. We can't just walk in and just do it.
Yeah.
So
I know
we have
how
the
it
mercy,
works.
and that's the problem right now.
I know how it works, yeah.
I need some clarity, whether or not he is going to leave it as a triplex and permit
not
it
a
as a
triplex.
triplex, or if he's
No, you
going to
don't.
take it down.
No, you don't. There's different ways that he can come into compliance.
Right, or
So-
take down, put it back to the original. I
You
just
could
need to
put
know
it
which.
back in the original.
The
You could
original.
find a way, it might not even be charged, but maybe a duplex ends up being allowed. I don't know what y'all will allow.
He just needs to
But
go
it's
through.
not for this hearing. What's for this
Okay.
hearing is the amount of time, because I am finding that there's a violation, is the amount of time to be given to comply before a fine begins, and then what the amount of the fine is going to be.
And like I say, with these architects, they take a while. These days it's been, I got a plan for an architect that's doing for me right now. It's been over a year. We just send the email, so that's why I say 90 days to cover it, but it could be way. We're gonna try our best, but when it comes to plans, you're in the mercy of the architect.
When did you start this case?
And Mr. Attorney, I thought this was over when the other case closed, because that's when they started the same time. I sent all the information of the closed case to them, and I think I spoke to Gary. I don't know who's Gary. I spoke to the gentleman. He was nice. I sent the stuff to him. I said, hey, this is what and I haven't heard anything back from them till now.
When did you
about
start this
with
case?
thing.
My NOV was March 24th. He has us confused with a different division.
I know. So I have a copy of the NOV from March 24th. So you started your investigation at that time and issued the notice of violation, basically?
My photographs that I don't have anymore should say, and I apologize, when I first went out there. Oh,
The notice of violation, it says alteration and renovation of single-family home to 3 separate units, adding additional bathroom, additional kitchen, and wall separations, modifying electrical panel, and making a triplex, 2 large aluminum carports, large shed in rear of property. We haven't talked, I think, about the carports and the shed in the rear of the property. Are you saying those are violations as well?
they're all unpermitted. The shed, to be honest with you, I don't think is permittable, but it's not my decision to make because it's literally fallen down. The aluminum.
Yes, they are part of the violation.
Okay.
The aluminum carports, can be projectiles. They need permits.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to give you 45 days to bring the property into compliance. If it's not brought into compliance in 45 days, the fine will be $350 a day.
Okay. When you say to pull a permit, you got to pull a permit.
You will have to pull the permit.
Yes.
Are there any questions? And the reason why I'm doing that fine amount is because of the precedent from earlier. I find it to be similar, okay? All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Next case, Your Honor, is Best Offers Investments, LLC, case number 2026-00118, Licensed Compliance Officer Kim Slater. Expert on the case, Mr. Samuel Acosta, page 3 of your agenda.
Hi. Okay. Yes, I do. Kimberly Slater. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
I think the county should go out and check the number of electrical panels when they go out next time.
There's more to that story.
Well, people swear under oath, so sometimes there's consequences. Go ahead.
All right. What I got here is there's actually 2 mobile homes installed at the same time on 2 adjacent properties, but we're going to address one at a time to keep from being confused. We got 5267 West Blade Lane in Dunellen. Contractor, I'm assuming he was a contractor, installed, if I can find my notes.
Hold on one moment, okay. I believe, Mr. Euler, didn't you call 26-118. Okay, 26-118
Okay.
is on 11676 North River Bend. Do you
Correct.
have that?
I do.
Ms. Slater, do you have exhibits A and B to put into evidence for the special master?
I do.
What is this case about?
It's after the fact mobile home installation.
Mobile
Without-
home installation.
Yes, sir. 2 of them. But we're addressing one at a time, like I said.
Okay.
I received a complaint on the 26th of January of two mobile homes being installed on 2 lots. The complainant was aware of 1 permit, however, there wasn't actually a permit for either one. One had been applied for, but anyway, I'd like to submit these to you as evidence, please.
Okay. Let me take. It's exhibits A and B? Exhibit A. Okay, exhibit A. Okay. Exhibit A, let's see. Oh, I see.
Where did it go? Sorry, Christian, I'm looking for it.
That's
I know
okay.
it's here.
I'm still looking through the photos. Exhibit A is admitted
Here it is.
as evidence. Thank you. So I think Exhibit A pretty much speaks for itself. You know, there's a big home there, and
They're both double wide homes.
Mm-hmm. Are they both on the same lot?
No, sir.
Oh,
There's
okay.
two separate lots of record.
Okay. Let's see. All right, and there is no permit.
Correct.
Have you had contact with the owner?
At first I did. After I went out and I researched the property after I got the complaint to see if we had permits.
Mm-hmm.
We had one for, like I said earlier, we had 1, not 2. However, I printed up and had Mr. Acosta, our building official, sign a stop work order for each property. And for me to post and have it ready if that was going on when I got there, and it was. With that said, you can tell in the photos, they're like going to town. They've got heavy equipment. They've got the actual axles and wheels removed from the mobile home. The mobile home is actually blocked up. I mean, it's set in place.
Mm-hmm.
They were just doing what they wanted without the permit.
Yeah.
Not only that, but when I went back for my corrective action inspection, after me posting a stop work order, asking all of the employees that were there to leave the premises, when I went back for my corrective action inspection, there was guys still working inside the mobile home after my posting the property with a stop work order. And this was, that was in March. My initial inspection was January 26th. I went back for a corrective action on March the 26th, and that's when I found them inside the mobile home working.
Okay.
So that was a month later.
Right. Okay, is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this? What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is $500 a day. I've given them ample time. This was continued from last court case.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so.
7 days, $350 a day.
7 days, $350 a day? Okay.
That looks like the max today.
All right.
Exhibits A and B are admitted in evidence. For those watching, it will not be the max next time.
Next case, Your Honor, is also Best Offers Investment, case number 2026-00119. Licensed Compliance Officer Kimberly Slater. Mr. Samuel Acosta is the expert, and it's on page 4 of your agenda.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same. I'd like to submit my photos, though, as evidence, please.
I'd like to see both exhibits A and B.
Okay.
Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? I don't see anyone.
No one showed up.
I did continue it last hearing, didn't I? Yeah.
That's why I asked her what I asked for as far as the cost and the amount of time.
Okay, exhibits A and B are evidence. It does look to be exactly the same thing. Do you have any other information to offer?
No, sir, not really.
Okay, I reincorporate your testimony from the prior hearing, take it into consideration, and I will grant 7 days, and it'll be $350 a day.
Thank you.
Next case, Justin Blevins, case number and Abigail Patricia, case number 2025-00603, Licensed Compliance Officer Timothy Williams. Building official, Mr. Samuel Acosta is the expert. Page 5 of your agenda, sir.
This is address 9 South Friar Point. It is a 10 by 14 shed, was placed on the property without a permit.
All right, do you have any exhibits?
Yes, I do.
I'll take a look. Exhibits A and B are evidence and admitted as such. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard? No? All right. Well, that looks like a shed to me.
Plain old shed.
Mm-hmm. Have you had contact with the property owner?
Yes, I did at the first, and we've been in contact, but everything dropped off.
Did they say they would fix it?
No, sir.
What did they say? Did they have any explanation, excuse,
No,
apology?
after we talked for a while, I never got any. They were supposed to be here today.
Okay. I mean, what did y'all talk about? The Knicks or the World Cup? I mean, what did y'all talk about?
To get a permit for the violation for the
Okay,
shed.
so you communicated that.
Oh, yes, sir, from the
They
start.
understood,
Yes.
but they said they would come here. I mean, did you, let's see, the first photos are taken April 23rd, 2025?
Yep.
I think that date might not be. Is that right?
Yes, I gave them a second chance because they had some issues.
Okay.
We've been
Well,
in
what's your recommendation?
30 days, $100 a day.
So ordered. That's it.
Thank you.
Next case, Crystal Point Property Owners Association, case number 2026-00685. Licensed Compliance Officer Deborah D. Maria. Building official, Mr. Samuel Acosta is the expert. Page 8 of your agenda, sir.
Okay, this is a commercial piece of property. It's a HOA clubhouse. It had glass doors, egress, ingress, with windows, and that all was removed and a solid wall was put in place. They did apply for a permit. It has not been issued. They did so very quickly.
Okay. I mean, how much time did you give them?
March 11th is when they sent the notice of violation.
Okay. Well, I will take a look at your evidence. Exhibits A and B will be admitted. Is there anyone from the public or the association who wants to be heard?
They're not here.
Okay. So you had contact with them?
No, sir.
Oh. All right, what's your recommendation?
430 days. I'm confident they'll have it issued by then.
I'm sorry?
430 days. He says he's a contractor. Again.
$430.
$400,
Oh,
30
okay,
days.
I'm sorry,
I'm so
sorry. I'm just, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, I got, thank you for figuring that out, because I was gonna sit here for the next half hour trying to figure that out. Okay. I'll do 30 days and $350 a day.
Okay.
Yep.
Next case, Heritage Home Buyers, 2025 LLC, case number 2026-00002. Licensed Compliance Officer Deborah D. Maria. Mr. Samuel Acosta is the expert on the case. Page number 13 on your agenda, sir.
Okay, it's a LLC flipping houses. They have a tenant who put in a large shed and one in the back, both unpermitted.
Okay, exhibits A and B are admitted as evidence. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard? Don't see anyone. Let's see.
They've submitted the permit applications. They're in the process.
Have you had contact with the owner?
I have,
And have they been cooperative or?
very much so, but I have a low fee, probably the lowest one ever, $50 a day for 30 days, because at the time I sent this notice violation, I did not know that an LLC had to have a contractor. So they complied immediately, pulled the permits, paid the fee, and then was denied because they needed a contractor due to being an LLC.
Okay. What's your recommendation?
$50, 30 days.
Okay, 30 days, $50 a day. So ordered.
Your Honor, the next case to be heard is Nitin Patel, case number 2026-00280. Officer David Euler. And your expert witness is Sam Acosta, and that's on page 16 of your agenda.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is 7977 West Denellen Road, Denellen. Oh, I'm sorry. I do. I apologize.
I'll live.
7977 West Denellen Road in Denellen, belongs to Nitin Patel and Cloclabin, and I apologize if I said that wrong, Patel. I have good service through certified mail. I'd like to enter the following exhibits. Exhibit A, my initial inspection on 2/25 of 26, corrective action on 4/29 of 2026, and my final inspection on 6/15 of 2026, along with Exhibit B, which is my notice of violation, my notice of hearing.
Okay, then I'll take a look. Those exhibits will be admitted into evidence. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard? I don't see anyone. Okay, what's going on?
It's renovations without a permit. It's a commercial property. He's converted 3 suites into 2. He's been very responsive when I've spoken with him several times. He's applied for a permit. However, it got denied because he didn't have his engineer drawings in. I talked with him this morning. He said, I've applied for a permit. What's going to happen is going to happen. And I told him what I was going to recommend, and I said, the judge can make that determination. So he's been very cooperative in trying to make it happen and get it done right.
What is your recommendation?
My recommendation is 90 days because they're dealing with engineers, and I'm sure you're aware of the issues with that, and $150 a day after that, sir.
I would normally, March 5th is when the first notice came out. If he was here, I might say otherwise, but I'm going to grant 60 days to bring it into compliance, and I'll do $150 a day.
Okay.
Just better get it done.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the next case is Pihu Real Estate, case number 2026-00279. Compliance Officer David Euler, expert witness Sam Acosta, and it's on page 17 of your agenda.
This case is 9895 North Citrus Avenue in Crystal River, owned by Pihu Real Estate. Mr. Patel is also the owner of the same property. He's one of the agents owner. That's his real estate company. I have good service through certified mail. I would like to certify the following documents. Exhibit A, which is my initial inspection on 2/25 of 26.
How did the complaints come in on these cases?
This complaint came in through the fire department. Both of them came in through the fire department.
Okay.
And I can explain a little bit more if you'd like. The initial inspection was 2/25 of 2026. The corrective action was 4/29 of 2026. The final inspection was June 16th of 2026. I'd also like to enter Exhibit B, which is our notice of violation and notice of hearing.
Okay, Exhibits A and B are admitted as evidence. Any public input? Nope. I see. Okay, well, I mean, how hard is it to get a permit for this?
He has to have engineered drawings for getting it through the roof, the pipes through the roof. The fire department went to that resident, or that place business first and checked it and found out he had another commercial residence, which is how they ended up at the second business.
What's your?
That's correct. That one caught fire. That one caught fire.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yikes. Well,
That's a commercial resident, I mean, a
it's,
commercial
is
business.
it
I
open
should-
for business?
Yes, sir, it is open for business.
Okay.
I think
so
the
what do you-
later photos show them actually making the pizzas
You
with
can
the
see the-
fixed roof during
sir.
our inspections.
Let me see that. Thought I went through all the photos, but I.
I don't know if you can see it very
Oh, I
well. You can
see.
see the smoke coming out of the
Yeah,
chimney in one of
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
It's a wood-fired pizza.
What do you want me to do?
There again, same thing, 60 days, $150 a day. He's waiting on his engineer. He's applied for a permit.
You
I've
want me to
spoken with
give them 60 days where they can't contain the fires and they're having customers in there?
They've had customers in there since March, or
Look, I know
February.
the people, the good people of Citrus County are hardy, strong, veterans of, you know, everything that can happen in Florida, but there's a health, safety, sanitary thing that we have to consider. I mean, this is fire, you know? I mean, I don't know how flammable that, I mean, I see wood, why wouldn't I instruct it to be shut down immediately?
it's totally your discretion, Your Honor.
I mean, if you don't have any safety concerns, but you realize this is being recorded.
Yes, sir, I understand. And
okay.
I'll defer to Mr. Acosta here. I mean, he's the expert on
I mean, I'm
it.
just curious. You guys are the experts. Tell me why it shouldn't be shut down.
The duct that you see going through the roof, it's rated for a certain clearance to combustibles, is what it is. It appears to me that one of the joints that they had was not sealed properly, and that's what led to the catching the combustibles on fire. From the photos, it appears that it is sealed correctly. The fact that it's functioned this far without reigniting seems
Okay.
to me that it's you know,
Okay.
he's bringing customers in my opinion, at his risk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, at his risk.
All right. I'll grant 30 days to bring the property into compliance, and it'll be $150 a day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Just a couple notes. First, I don't think I would be as forgiving next hearing on those cases. I would like to talk to you after the hearing a little bit. And is there anything else that the county wants to take up before we adjourn?
Not on this matter, Your Honor.
Okay, then the time is 4:18. We're adjourned.
And Your Honor, if we could have a brief 5 minutes so Kat can switch over to the boat launch and we can change the banner for the boat launch hearing.
please.
Thank you.